We had some great news in global health this week. The Americas region, which includes the US, Canada, Mexico, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean, was certified as having eliminated measles. To talk about the implications of this achievement, we have with us today Dr. John Andrus, Executive Director of the Save and Vaccine Institute. Dr. Andrus has a long history in global health, having worked for the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta and in India, and serving as Deputy Director for the Pan American Health Organization. Welcome, Dr. Andrus.
Thank you, Nellie. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Dr. Andrus, what is the significance of this milestone in the Americas?
Well, it's pretty amazing. The Americas, as such, become the first region in the world to achieve the elimination of measles, the target, in a WHO region. So it's remarkable in that sense, and the significance is that it provides the lessons learned for other regions to embark on this similar goal. So it's a major milestone. It comes on the heels of polio eradication in the Americas and on the elimination of rubella and congenital rubella syndrome.
What does it take for a region to eliminate measles? What are the major tools that are used for this process?
Well, fortunately, there's an excellent vaccine, and that's a key strategy, how to use the vaccine and building a good routine immunization program that can be supplemented by campaign approaches, coupled with a very good system of surveillance with the adequate laboratory support, all contributing to that target of 0 measles cases in the region. So we've also learned that strong political commitment is fundamental. And fortunately for the Americas, this program was really owned and driven by the countries. It actually originated in the Caribbean. And the Caribbean ministers one day said, hey, we can do this. Let's do it together in the Western Hemisphere. So it was a nice example of how countries saw the opportunity and took ownership.
What will it take for the other regions? I guess this is a goal for many of the regions of the WHO regions. Measles elimination is. How close are they, and what will it take for them to achieve this goal?
It's interesting. It's exciting to know that virtually every region, all 6 WHO regions, have a measles elimination target. By 2020, if they're all successful, we could be saying goodbye to a terrible disease that at one time was the major killer of children less than 5 years of age. It still kills over 100, maybe a half a million children a year, which has come down as a result of the achievement of the Americas. So the targets are there, the lessons learned are there, the political commitment needs to be bolstered. What's exciting, though, is it is being driven by all regions. I think having a global target would help. The recognition that polio could be used to transition into a measles and rubella elimination strategy, and that final point, that the key strategy, vaccination, be done with the vaccine that contains rubella, because then you have a major impact on 2 diseases rather than just one.
Mm-hmm. And so you lead into my next question, which is about transitioning the polio infrastructure. So all of the assets and the workforce and the laboratory and the disease surveillance capacities that have been built up for polio eradication, there's talk now about figuring out what to do with those post-polio. And so how does this measles elimination milestone feed into that? What lessons are there for the rest of the world?
I think the major one is build on your success. That's one thing that countries in Latin America and the Caribbean fully recognize, that once we achieve a target, not to allow that effort to dissipate and to maintain the people that have been trained, the laboratories that have been built up, the technologies that are now available, to use those in bridge to a strong routine immunization program and other components of a health system that's integrated in prevention. So not just for measles, but the prevention of congenital anomalies, the better access to health for women, so better health care for women as a result, and better care for those unfortunate children that are born with congenital anomalies, because there are hundreds of other causes, but having a good healthcare system to care for those children is a major byproduct. So there are a lot of opportunities. The key that I see is the link to the Global Vaccine Action Plan that stresses equity. And so when you achieve an elimination target, what better way to demonstrate equity? Because you have to reach every family, you have to reach every community. And the other is system strengthening. Measles, rubella elimination strengthens systems so that when a new infectious disease threat emerges, and there will be, it's not a question if, it's when is the next one. If a country can adequately address measles, respond, control, they're more likely to be able to respond to the next Ebola outbreak or the next viral infection that emerges. If they can't do that, if they can't respond to measles, it's very unlikely that they'll be